Hari Om. In this effort to understand what meditation is, we have already seen that the field of karma is limited, and what it can yield is not the benefit of meditation, because that which is being meditated upon and experienced is not something which is acquired or accomplished, but it is something which is already my nature, and I have to be aware of it. So, therefore, it is not karma. Having said that, it covers all in the field of action, whether it is upasana, whether it is japa, whether it is whatever other process, tratak, observing a flame, all these are actions, processes, therefore under the field of karma. Somewhere in the 1800, we got caught up in uh, this concept that there are four paths to realization: karma, bhakti, dhyana, and jnana. All four are different paths going onto the top of the mountain, and you can come to realize it. But when you keenly study the Bhagavad Gita Bhashya, which Bhagwan Bhashyakar Adi Shankaracharya ji, he very clearly gives the construct that there are only two paths. One is called pravritti, the other is called nivritti. The entire field of karma, which includes puja, japa, and any other method out there, under that which is called pravritti or karma. Dhyana is nivritti, turning of that mind towards the core of my own being, to be aware of that which is my true nature. But many of us in this particular field, in trying to meditate, we get caught up in the layer of faith and several methods of bhakti or upasana. Don't get me wrong, it is not that it is not a necessity, but it is also seen only as a step of purification and coming to that single pointedness. So, what is this upasana? Puja Guruji, continuing, he says, निकृष्ट वस्तुनि दृष्टिः ह्युत्कृष्टा तद उपासनम ध्यानम विलक्षणम तस्मात् यथार्थ ज्ञान रूपतः. Upasana is a method of superimposing a higher, subtler vision on to something which is lower in object. Dhyanam vilakshanam tasmat. But meditation is completely, totally different. What is it? It is the nature of knowledge. To understand and be aware of this nature is called meditation. A very, very important step here. Otherwise, we get caught up thinking that this upasana is the destination. Supposing I board a train imagining or assuming that I should be reaching from Bombay to Chennai, and I get down at, say, Pune. Having gotten down at Pune, vada pav, chai, I liked it so much, I stopped there. Yes, you have reached a certain place, but not Chennai. Similarly, we take up in all faith and shraddha this particular step of upasana, but the goal of upasana is chitta ekagrata and chitta shuddhi. And that is not meditation because it is being aware of one's own true nature, for which we need that mind which has gone through the transformation of chitta shuddhi, chitta ekagrata. Therefore, upasana is a necessity. So, what is upasana? Nikrishta vastuni utkrishta drishti. Upasana technically means closest to, seated closest to. Seated closest to what? Whatever you are aiming for. So, that is the word meaning. The technical meaning is you take up any vastu of a lower nature, and in that you visualize by superimposing something higher. We all do that. On In our cell phones, we have the photo of our family. It's nothing but pixels, closely crammed patterns of colors through these pixels, displayed on some Gorilla Glass display LCD. We know that that material has got nothing to do with our family. But when we see that photo in a screensaver or wallpaper that we have, as soon as we see that photo, our mind is taken to something which is very warm and loving. Through that, I have been taken to something deeper, higher, subtler, nobler. That is what Upasana does. With or without the religious connotation, we all do Upasana. On a post, you have a flag, and as soon as that flag is launched, say you have won something in a competition, and in that competition uh, you have won a medal, and your country's flag is hoisted. As soon as we see that, it is metal post and a cloth fluttering. But looking at that cloth fluttering with the color patterns and the design which indicates my country, there is a surge of pride, there's a surge of joy. I have done nothing. Someone has won, but through them, I vicariously draw that inspiration and joy out of it because of my association, because of my visualization of that grandeur through that flag. Similarly, when we have a murti or a vigraha made out of metal or a stone or crystal or wood or just a printout on paper, you have all of them in the backdrop. All of these formats When you look at the vastu is made up of metal or paper or carving, but through that I am invoking something subtler, higher, supreme. This bhavana is called upasana. And this bhavana phala is extensively there to the one who has shraddha in that bhavana. Otherwise, there is no phala of that process. Now, meditation, on the other hand, is to know my true nature and to be aware of it as is. There is no superimposition there. So, therefore, when somebody says that I have been meditating on Bhagavan, we have been contemplating, not meditating. And that for that contemplation, we need a heart which is soaked very divinely with Shraddha in that visualization, which lifts this mind up, purifying it and bringing it to that one single pointed focus. Now, Upasana yields the phala of having Bhagavat Sakshatkara right in front of you. As you see another individual, another Vastu, you can see that Bhagavan, not hallucination, not visualization, not imagination. Pratyaksha Sakshatkara is possible, but it is a Uttara Kala Phala, that I put the effort sincerely with Shraddha and the phala is seen. But whereas meditation, being aware of my own true nature, is samakala phala, right then and there, the moment I become aware of it, I am that conscious principle is understood and experienced then and there. Even Bhagavad Darshana is not considered as supreme. There's a story of Muktabai knocking on the head of Namdevji, who is to interact daily at a personal interactive level with Bhagwan Vithoba. And when Muktabai knocks on his head, she says, Kacha kada hai, paka nahi hai abhi. It's still very raw, not well baked, meaning you have not realized yet. This is what you talk. I speak to Vithoba every day. She says, go ask your Vithoba if your experience is complete. So he rushes back to the temple, talks to Bhagwan, and Bhagwan says, what she's saying is true. Then how do I make this experience complete? He says, go talk to her. And thus she initiates him back into that highest. The same we see the study when we go through the life story of Bhagwan Ramakrishna Paramahamsa ji also. That Totapuri ji, he comes into his life, teaches him this Advaita Siddhanta for him to be aware of that supreme being. So, Upasana is done with our body, mind, and intellect, whereas meditation is independent of all these equipments to abide in my own true nature as that awareness. So don't get disappointed. It is just that it is a step which is necessary to be performed with Shraddha, but it cannot be taken up as the ultimate experience. That is via media necessity, but it is not meditation. Now, many people say, do japa, you will realize. What is japa and how does it benefit? That we will see in our next one. We are still not yet there where we can say this is meditation. We're still going through what is meditation. So we'll come to that. Until then.